everybody. Welcome to the Talking Disney Classics podcast. And this is a show where we love talking about Disney films and the Disney canon. It's so much fun. And I am film critic Rachel Wagner, and Stanford's here.
Hi.
And today we have another one of our ranking episodes where we invite a content creator to come on and share with us their Disney ranking. In this case, it's our top 20. We're so excited to have Marianne, the Girly Nerd, on. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Yes. So since this is your first time on the podcast, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? Tell us a little bit about you and how you first started your love of Disney and the Disney canon.
Okay. Well, I'm Marianne, otherwise known as the Girly Nerd. I'm a writer for the website Wealth of Geeks, and I run my own website called thegirlynerd.com. I love Disney. I always like to say I was born loving Disney because I don't remember a time where I didn't love Disney. And it's like in my blood. So from a very, very young age, I watched Disney movies. The very first VHS my parents ever bought for us was Mary Poppins.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
The first movie I really remember watching was Mary Poppins, and then a couple other Disney animated movies, I believe, Sleeping Beauty, and maybe it might have been Lady and the Tramp.
Uh-huh.
You know, back in the I think the mid to late 80s when they started putting out all the Disney movies on VHS, and they had all the, and then we had the Disney Channel too, and we would go to the re-releases in the movie theater.
Yes.
I saw Cinderella in the movie theater. Girl, and of course, being a little girl, you know, girly girl that I am, I had to bring my Cinderella doll with me. And you know, Barbie dolls, they always lose their shoes. So in true Cinderella fashion, I lost one of her shoes.
Nice.
Find it, and he's like, I'm not gonna find this. I'm like, it's okay. That's my fault for bringing the doll with me. But
And you are a big Disneyland person, right?
oh yes.
Yeah.
So we live in San Diego, and I never really took like long vacations, but we grew up, middle class, not a lot of money, but my parents were so wonderful and always made sure we went to Disneyland. When we took trips, we went to Disneyland, and we went all the time when I was little. At one point we had an annual pass, so we'd go like once a month, and that's why I always say Disney's in my blood. A little. I mean, I love all things Disney, Disneyland, Disney movies, Disney music, everything. I don't like every last thing, obviously, but yeah, I'm a huge like Disney nerd, as they say.
Stanford, did you go to the parks a lot, to Disneyland? Did you have
I did.
Did a lot?
I grew up in Salt Lake City, but my dad had a lot of business. My dad was a management consultant, and he had clients in Southern California. And often we just pile on the station wagon and drive to California. He'd drop us, my mom and the kids off at Disneyland, and then he'd go do his work and then meet us in the evening. And anyway, I think that's where, I got my serious love for it, because we go, 2 or 3 times a year, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's at some point. Yeah, sometimes. And same thing, steady diet of Disney movies. I love going to see those re-releases in the theater. I love that you brought that up, Marianne, because that was a happy memory for me. I can't necessarily remember, although I think it's well documented when these came out. I could figure out which ones I saw, but I always remember it was a highlight when when we could go see the movies in the theater. And then when the VHS thing started, holy cow, that was like the best thing ever. You watch these movies.
Those puffy cases, got to protect those VHS.
I love the puffy cases.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of Disney of those VHSs as well. And I remember, we were in the East Coast for my middle school and high school years, so we didn't really do Disneyland then, but I do remember two particular trips to Disneyland. And then one trip we did, I've been to Disney World one time, and that was in when I was 12.
Oh, nice.
So it was still MGM Studios and still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So one of these days I need to go again,
Need to go
because
back.
I'm it's so ridiculous. Like, my guilty pleasure is watching these YouTube park YouTubers. And so I know all of this stuff about Disney World and all the hotels and just all their stuff, the restaurants, things. And I've basically never been. I mean, just so it's a weird thing that I do. I don't understand it myself, but
I love those videos too.
Yeah.
Like the Tim Tracker and those people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh yeah. Seriously, so fun.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the whole idea of the Girly Nerd and kind of what you do?
Oh, before I answer that, I was just gonna say I do the exact same thing. I watch these YouTube videos every day, and it's like I watch Disneyland and Disney World YouTube videos.
Yes.
Every day. I love it. So it just makes me happy, even if I've never been to Disney. It's like I feel like I. But so I was writing about let's see, when was 2010? I can't do math. Like
13 years. Yeah.
I was doing some work for local newspapers, and it's funny. Yeah, I did some press for Tangled.
Oh.
And I haven't done anything like that since then, but I really liked writing, but I wasn't getting a lot of opportunities locally. So I'm like, okay, let me try to find some stuff online, and I wasn't finding a lot. But then I started writing for the website, the Nerd Machine, which was founded by Zachary Levi, who's Flynn Rider.
Oh, really? I didn't know that he found that.
Not around anymore, but it was connected with his nonprofit, which benefited Operation Smile, and he had the Nerd HQ things during Comic-Con. It was all connected to. So he had a team of writers and that wrote entertainment articles. So I wrote for that for a while, and I really liked it because it sort of got my foot in the door in people's minds. But then after a while, they were stopping it. So I'm like, well, let me start my own website. And I'm like, well, I always called myself a girly nerd because I like nerdy things, but I'm a very girly girl, So I just decided to start that. I've been so busy with Wealth of Geeks, I haven't had time to do anything on it in so long. But I don't want to get rid of my website because I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of the writing I did on there, and can still go on and read some of my older stuff. But I'm going to try to do better time management in the future and do more stuff on there. But
yeah, I would say keep it up, because even if you don't write on it ever again, it's still valuable. Because I started with a personal blog as well. And then I kind of moved into writing about movies, and then also now this theater blog. And so I haven't written on the personal blog for a while, but yeah, it has. I mean, just in my own I don't know, just my work and my I have a lot of memories and stuff on there. So I wouldn't. I always think it's a shame when people just delete their YouTube channel or delete their blog or whatever. It's like, you can make it inactive if you want, but don't delete it. Don't delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've done a lot of listicles, I've seen over and so this kind of works right into our talking about the rankings. But what have you had a listicle that was the hardest to do?
Gosh, I don't know. I love lists. I've made lists since I was a little kid. So it's kind of nice that my love of making lists became like a career.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to rank things. It's hard to rank the Disney movies because it's like, well, I like them all,
Yes, exactly.
I have to think about
Yeah.
that.
It's really hard because you like different things for different reasons. And so like I have Aladdin a little bit lower than most people, but I still really love it. And I don't know, it's just hard. Like because I feel like I have my definite like top 5, and then there's like a 9-10 car pile up for that.
That's a great way to put it. My top 25, I feel like are all almost equal.
Yeah,
it's got all the parity. I mean, clearly my my top 3 to 5, I definitely love the most. But yeah, exactly.
Well, let's dive in. Let's talk. We have your top 20 list here, and you had some honorable mentions that you had on your list. Why don't you talk about those for a little bit?
So yeah, ranking only 20 is difficult because I the other day I listed them all out and I'm like, okay, how many do I have here? I had like 26 or something. So I didn't give you all the honorable mentions. So is a Fantasia.
Yes.
Because, that's a very different kind of movie, obviously. It's just, little segments. There's no story to it. But I just find it so charming, and the animation is so beautiful in some of the segments, and I love classical music. And it was just such a inspired sort of thing that Walt Disney chose to do. He always wanted the envelope and do something different. So I feel like that deserves it's even though it's not in my top 20, it just deserves some sort of worthy praise.
It is a very special film, and it's just it's completely unique experience to watch.
And then I also had the Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah, so Stanford is a huge fan of the original Rescuers. Are you a fan of Rachel's Reviews? Do you look forward to Family Movie Night, Female Film Critics panels, or the Talking Disney podcast? If so, please consider supporting the podcast by becoming a Patreon. As a patron, you get to access monthly events such as the watch-alongs and Q&As, where you get to talk to stars and find out the behind the scenes of the movie making industry. And you can pick what I review for Family Movie Night, or even become a guest on the podcast. Podcasts and YouTube channels are expensive, and I really, really could use your help. I would so appreciate it. You also get to be a member of the Facebook group where we talk about all the films that we're seeing, and we have so much fun. Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies and select one of the Rachel's fan tiers. That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
I love them both, but I really love the original. And as Rachel knows, I feel like I'm the only person in America that likes that movie.
Like that movie. I just think the sequel is 10 times better. I mean, the animation is
animation is gorgeous.
Like another I like that it's set in Australia. I think that's kind of different and neat. And I love things with sort of environmental themes. They don't feel like preachy about it, and I just think that the characters are really cute and sweet.
And the whole thing with the mice with the medicine, that is hilarious. I love that part of that movie. Like, no. But yeah, so that's a good pick. What's your next honorable mention?
And then my other one, I had asked you about this movie. I'm like, is this I didn't think it was considered the Disney canon, but it's like a Disney movie, is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
I love, it's actually a movie I hadn't seen until I want to say 4 years ago. I'd seen parts of it, before, but I never sat down and watched the whole thing. I don't know why. I knew the characters. I'd been on the Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, Disneyland.
It's really fun. And but I watched the movie, and I sat down and watched it. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. I mean, I love the songs. I love the characters. It's just so, I like that it's both Halloween and Christmas,
Mhm.
like my two favorite holidays, like mashed together. So it's like mashed together.
If you
And
had to pick, is it a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? Which would you pick?
um,
It's always hard.
the- maybe Christmas. I don't know. It's the
Yeah.
kind. I'll watch it in like November.
Yeah.
In the middle.
What about you, Stanford? Do you think it's a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
Well, I personally think it's more of a Halloween movie,
Yeah.
but I I like the whole season, but I just think given the even kind of the scary nature when they take over Christmas, it's still you know uh so kind of dark and twisted. And delightful.
Yeah.
I view it more as Halloween.
I think I would also put it more in Halloween because of the imagery and the scares and other things. But the heart of it is actually Christmas.
It's
So I can see
Christmas,
the
yeah,
argument.
yeah. It's I like November, but I watch it all season. I'd watch it anytime. It's a great movie.
It's really good. Really, really good. All right. Well, let's dive into your top 20. This is going to be really fun.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us what is your number 20?
So just full disclosure, this ranking is sort of like just like personal preference, like what I enjoy watching more than like taking my bias out of it objectively. Oh, this is the best movie sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because if just that, it'd be a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 20 is Hercules.
Yeah. Hercules. What do you love about Hercules?
I love Hercules just because it's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
So funny. It's so light. The characters are cute. I love that. I don't know who decided this, but I love that they mixed a Greek story with gospel music.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love Meg's character. She's so like sassy and spunky and but vulnerable and stuff. And I really love the music. I just think some of the like Zero to Hero has some of the best lyrics in any Disney song ever.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so good. The muses are so good. And I also actually have Hercules at 20. So we're the same there. It's very surprising. It's very funny. It has a great villain. And it has some great songs. And it's just like all over the place. I can understand why some people don't like it because it's got like superhero stuff. It's a like part parody. It's it's got the Greek stuff. It's got the gospel, but I don't know. I just think it overall is really fun because it has so much going on. I don't know. What do you think about Hercules, Stanford?
Oh, I love Hercules. I have it a little lower. It's not in my top 20, but it's a film I enjoy tremendously.
Yeah.
It's just all the stuff that you both so eloquently stated, but and also just so wacky, and unpredictable. I'm with you. I love how sassy Meg is. I think Hercules has a very interesting character arc, and the music's just fantastic. So anyway, and I actually like the animation too.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those films that just wears well, and I always enjoy watching it
because it has that guy who did the Pink Floyd.
Yeah, Gerald
art.
Scarf.
Yeah. So that's another random part about it.
Yeah, exactly. But it works. I think it really works. Yeah.
And you can tell that they were kind of trying to get out of the sort of rut, the like Disney Renaissance rut. And so I think that's why it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. So random, but so funny. I love Pain and Panic, Pain and Panic. Phil, every character is great.
And Susan Egan, so good.
Yeah,
I love her. Yeah. Well, very good. That's a good number 20. So what do you have for number 19?
I have The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Yay. I have that at 14, so I'm also high on it. I think it's one of the more underrated, just because I think people just dismiss stuff that's for children as being less significant sometimes. And but I really think it's so cute.
It's so sweet and charming.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan of just Winnie the Pooh in general, like all things Winnie the Pooh. I just think they are just so heartwarming and heartfelt
Yeah.
and clever. It's funny. I had VHS tapes of all these different Winnie the Pooh segments. They were all separated instead of the one long movie. So for a long time, I didn't realize it was one long movie. And then when I finally got that, I saw that stuff had been edited out, and which is weird. So, but one all together, I mean, it's just so sweet, and I love how they like talk to the screen. Like at one
Oh,
point,
yeah.
who is that? Oh, it's the narrator.
I'm not in the book.
Yeah, the gopher. That's not in the book.
So cute and unique and original, and
Yeah.
The Winnie the Pooh characters I know are like the most popular Disney characters, like merchandise wise, which
Mhm.
I'm surprised by because they're just so cute and cuddly and sweet, and I love all of
Yeah.
them. I'm also a huge fan of the Christopher Robin movie.
Oh,
So
yeah. It's one of your favorite of the live action remakes.
oh, completely. I mean, I watch them and I just go, oh,
Yeah.
it's just so beautiful. And I have those same sort of warm and fuzzy feelings with the Winnie the Pooh cartoon. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a favorite of the 3 shorts?
Maybe the
Say those.
Blustery Day.
Yeah, I think
So-
that is most
That's
people's favorite.
that's my
Yeah,
favorite.
it's really good. So all right, well, what is your number 18?
Number 18 is 101 Dalmatians.
Oh,
Yeah.
What do you love about 101 Dalmatians?
Oh, it's adorable. Well, I don't.
I know, right? It's so great. So adorable.
I know it was in that era where the animation style is like way different, way more less detailed, and but I kind of in that particular film, I like that. I like the style. I like. It was nice to have a Disney movie that's contemporary,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
Roger and Anita are a really cute Disney couple. They're very realistic and sweet, and it's just kind of cute that they don't care that there's all these puppies that are going to overtake their house.
yeah, and they use Cruella just the right amount. Like most of the time, the puppies are with Jasper and Horace, so you get just enough of her to not be like to be fun and an over the top villain, but not be too much.
Not just like overwhelmed with fright, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your number 17?
17, I have Moana.
Oh, okay. What do you love about Moana? Is that your most recent one in the top 20?
So I'm like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a good one.
I like the newer movies. It's not that I dislike them, but I just don't like them as much as some of the older ones and ones I grew up with.
Mhm.
Moana is just, I think, is gorgeous. The animation is something beautiful I've ever seen. The way they animate water is just astounding to me, and I love I really like Polynesian set stories. I think they're really interesting and fun, and I like the music, and I love her character and how strong she is, and it's a really beautiful story that makes me cry. And the one scene in it is a little like off-putting just because it creeps me out, is that shiny scene.
Yeah. You're not alone. I think that a lot of people feel that way about shiny.
But I have it very high as well. I have Moana at 11. So yeah. Where do you have it, Stanford?
I have it at 25, but I mentioned my top 25. They're all, kind of all equal.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's a great film.
Yeah, it's so good. And Oawe Kavala is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a find. All right. What is your number 16?
I feel guilty having it this low. I looked at it, I'm like, oh gee, that's kind of low. I have The Lion King at 16, which
Uh-huh.
is ridiculous because lots of times people put it like at number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
don't
it
love
at 8. I have it at 8.
And I have it at 21. So
Okay.
yeah, so you're in good company. You're good.
Why do you hate this movie?
I love it.
Oh, so what is your favorite part about Lion King?
Okay, maybe I think I rank it a little bit lower because I love the beginning of The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
I love the stuff when Simba's younger, more he's an adult. I do like when he's an adult. I just think maybe the ending's a little weak for a Disney movie. No, it's not bad,
Right. Well, it's in your top 20, so it's not bad.
Circle of Life is one of the most glorious things I've ever seen in any Disney movie. And
Amen.
It's
good. It's
just so powerful.
Do you remember seeing the trailer, Marianne? You know, I believe it was playing in front of Aladdin, right? And they showed that sequence in the trailer. I just remember thinking, this is the most amazing, most beautiful thing. Most beautiful animation I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. It is. Love that song. And I know I make the joke. It's like, it's not just because I was in love with Jonathan Taylor Thomas that I don't like it. Grows up.
You're not a Matthew Broderick fan?
Oh, that's great.
And how I had a crush on him. So
all right. What is your number 15?
My 15 is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Again, putting it that low because like just judging Disney movies on,
on your own enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
I put that higher. But I do love Snow White. I think it's so charming and obviously so important to the Disney company as a whole. And I love the style of it and the color palette and the music.
I think what makes Snow White great is that it touches on every single emotion. It's scary, it's funny, it's romantic, it's sad, all of those things. And so I have it at 10.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that movie that I find the most powerful is when the dwarfs are all crying around her.
Yeah, so good.
Devastating.
And crying, and it's just so moving. And I remember reading about stories that the adults were crying watching that Clark Gable and Carol Lombard were crying at that moment in the movie watching it. And it's like, I think that's where they said that they found out that moving pictures could move people or what was it? No, that's not the quote, but it's something about how animated movies could move people, which was incredible because nothing like that had ever been done before. I mean, mouse cartoons are cute, but I don't think they make anyone cry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they called it Walt's Folly. Yeah. So this is pretty amazing. And where do you have Snow White, Stanford?
I have it high. I have it at number 5. I still think it's that and probably Pinocchio are like the finest films still, I think, from Disney animation. But just as Marianne said, the enjoyment factor for me, it's not, there's other films that I think I like more, but it's it set the standard, and I think it still holds up incredibly well. I love it.
Yeah.
And respect it.
All right. What do you have at 14?
I have Peter Pan.
Oh.
Yay, it's in your top 20. I love Peter Pan so much. I have it at number 4.
Am I a rarity with that?
Well, yeah,
with Rachel
there are with me. I have it at 40. It's not my favorite. But I do love things about it. And the comedy is really good. I love the Second Star to the Right. I love the Mary Blair animation. So there are, but I don't really like the way they're so mean to Wendy for like no reason. There's no reason. Why does everybody hate her?
They all want to kill her.
Yeah, they want to kill her.
Literally.
And I mean, just the Red Man song is hard.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I the issues with it. I just like it. The sequence that I love is the You Can Fly sequence. I just find that so, it's like exhilarating, beautiful, and it's just so neat. And I really love the Peter Pan story in general. So I tend to like lots of different Peter Pan iterations.
Yeah. Did you see the new one, Peter Pan and Wendy, yet?
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
Yeah, well, you really to what you think.
You really don't. But no.
All right, what's your 13?
My 13 is Frozen. Okay. Yeah.
I have Frozen at, where are you? I have Frozen at 12, so we're pretty close.
And I have it at 18. I love Frozen.
Yeah, I like Frozen. I like Frozen much more than Frozen 2. I think a lot of people like the second one better. I don't know. I like the original because, one, I like the songs better. And I just love the story about the sisters, and the characters are great. I love Anna's character and how she's like, she doesn't know what she's doing, but she's self-reliant too. It's and she just loves her sister so much and will do anything for her. I mean, Elsa will too. And I think she's a really important character for people who feel isolated and different. And I like that so many different types of people can like relate to her without it being like something specific. It's just like a blanket sort of anyone who feels, you can't go near people, or, you're depressed or sad, or, things like that.
Yeah.
And Frozen is also, so my little niece was really young when that came out. So she was one of those little girls who would sing Let It Go over and over and over again. And I have a video of her singing it. And the cutest thing ever. So
cute.
It's such a good song. I mean, no wonder they changed it all around and completely changed the whole story when they landed on that song. Yeah. It's
an incredible song. I know people like are sick of it, but it's an incredible song. It's the way it builds, and Idina Menzel is just the most amazing singer. And I think Kristen Bell is a beautiful singer too, and she does it really good.
Yeah,
she's a very good singer. I think she's really wonderful in that part.
All right, what's your number 12?
My number 12 is Robin Hood.
Oh, fun!
I was excited that you had this so high because it's my dad's. Well, my dad's co-favorites are Jungle Book and Robin Hood. Those are his favorites.
Lots of connections between those two movies with me.
Yes.
So it's ones we watched quite a bit growing up. I do have a fondness for it. I have it at 32, but I do really enjoy it. The only part about it that doesn't work for me is how all of a sudden it becomes this like really depressing, like it just changes tone from this like madcap crazy to like every town, like what happened for that third act. But I love Prince John.
He's so funny.
Oh,
He's
Peter Ustinov.
Yeah, so
and the great animation. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like recycled animation, but I didn't know that when I was a kid watching it.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that, but lots of times I'm judging things. I judge it on the animation style, but I also judge it on the story and the characters. And I just think Robin Hood is so funny.
Yeah.
And
it's really funny.
I love foxes. I think that's a movie that started my love for foxes, if I think about it. I love that the main characters are foxes. I love all the animals, and it's just so cute. And I love all the little kids. the little turtle, with the glasses. It's just adorable and funny. That I understand what you're saying about the change in tone. That doesn't really bother me because I like movies that are like multidimensional, have lots of tonalities to them.
Yeah.
Well,
Where do you have Robin Hood, Stanford?
I have it at 27, but it's a film that I like very much. I'm such a sucker for anthropomorphic animals, wearing clothes and walking on two legs. I just love it. And this movie's got such great voice talent, and I really love how the character animation really matches. Takes advantage of that.
And some like really catchy songs.
Yeah,
Robin Hood and Little John walks through the forest. It's so good.
Phony King of England and all that.
John the Phony. And Hiss, hilarious.
He's hilarious. Absolutely.
All right.
Wait, let me say.
Oh yeah.
There's a Sir Hiss where he's in his basket and looks like he's leaning like on arms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that's so clever. And
isn't that clever? Yes.
You eel in snake's clothing.
Yep.
All right. What is your number 11?
My 11 is Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, good. What do you love about Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, I love how crazy it is. Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite books. In general, it's like kind of like Peter Pan. I just love all things Alice in Wonderland. Always have. The Lewis Carroll stories. I love the imagery of Alice in Wonderland. Giant cards and a giant chessboard and painting the roses red and the flamingos. It's my favorite movie to collect things from.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not my favorite Disney movie, but I just love all Alice things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Mary Blair artwork is just so great.
Yeah.
And I have it at 26, but I really do enjoy it.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Why don't you tell us what is your number 10? We're getting the top 10 here.
Yay.
Pinocchio.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like basing it on like what I think the best. They'd be higher, but I still had to have it in my top 10 as far as enjoying Pinocchio.
Yeah. I have to admit, my appreciation for Pinocchio grew after the terrible Zemeckis one. It made me appreciate the number of things. I think I might have a higher ranking now, but like the current ranking, I have it at 25, but just seeing how terrible that movie was made me like, I've got to bump it up.
So much.
Yeah.
I love the original. And then it just was so insulting.
It was so bad.
So bad.
I think it's one of the worst movies Disney has ever made is that remake.
It's like horrific. It's like I can't say enough bad things about that. And
that's terrible.
Like what?
Yeah.
It's just awful. And the animated movie is so gorgeous and rich and powerful and profound. And I want to ignore the other movie. It's like it doesn't exist.
Yep. I get it.
Same.
Yeah, same.
All right.
Frightening, which I understand, I don't know, maybe I have a dark side. I mean, I remember being like thinking it's scary, but not like so much where I'm like, oh, I can't watch it anymore. This is the most horrible thing. It
Yeah.
is it's frightening, and for good reason. It tells morality lessons.
Yeah,
And
morality tale. Yeah.
the book is much darker.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've never read the book. I need to eventually one of these days. Have you ever read it, Stanford? The
You
book?
know, I don't think I read it all the way through. I know I read some of it. I had an Italian class in college, and I think that there we read some of it in Italian,
Oh,
if I'm
interesting.
not mistaken. But anyway, but I'd like to. Yeah, I was saying I would like to really read the whole thing. I probably will read it in English.
My degree's in children's literature, so I read
Oh.
for a class, and Pinocchio kills the cricket at one point because he's mad at one
No.
doesn't learn his lesson, and he accidentally hangs himself and has to be revived by the fairy. So there's like
Oh,
a
wow.
Dark.
hanging. It's dark. So
We thought Del Toro was dark. It sounds like
Yeah.
not much.
The source is, close to the source material thematically.
Yeah.
Pinocchio lying face down on the water is
Oh
like
my
burning
gosh.
so much. So like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And any of that movie, I don't care how many times I see it, I'm always like bawling, crying because I'm so happy that he's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Lisa.
and When You Wish Upon a Star is just
Iconic.
Classic.
maybe the best song next to Somewhere Over the Rainbow in a movie ever.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is Bambi.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
What do you love about Bambi?
I love how it's so beautiful and gentle and sweet. And I remember posing a question on Twitter, I think it was last year, thinking, will we ever have another movie like Bambi? And I feel like we won't, because I don't know, I wish we would. It's just, I love how it's framed by the seasons, and how you're just sort of watching these cute little characters go through things, but then it's also, very serious, and, the mother dies. You don't have to see it to know what's going on. I love how that the villain is essentially just man, and how that just the presence of man, how frightening that could be. It's, you don't see him. He doesn't have a name. It's just man.
Yeah.
And what does his presence do? It kills his mother. It starts a fire. It's threatening to nature. And I feel like it's a nice thing that Walt Disney kind of made, like an environmental, protect nature sort of film. And
Yeah.
and it's like, it's cutesy and it's serious. It's beautiful. I like the music and the animation style and the color, and
I love the way it uses music. I think it's like drip drip drop literally, but like the music sounds like rain. It's very very fun. Yeah, I agree. I have it at 29, but I love it. So I don't it's just
I have
hard.
it at 14. I really love Bambi.
Yeah. All right, what is your number 8?
My number 8 is Pocahontas.
Oh, okay. And that's that I do have that one pretty low. I have that one at 50. But what do you love about Pocahontas?
I feel like I'm the only person who likes this movie.
I do think it's beautiful, and I think the songs are good.
I understand the criticism of the film. I do, as it, they made up a story. They made something up. So, and some of the other issues, but I just sort of look at it as like, yes, they took an historical figure, but it's not a true story. It's just a story about a Native American woman who falls in love with, a white man, and the clashes between the Native Americans and the settlers. And I was talking to my mom the other day, and I asked her, I'm like, well, knowing me, knowing what I value, and she's like, I asked her, is it surprising that I love Pocahontas? And she's like, no,
Yeah.
because it's it's messages about tolerance and, again, protecting nature, and the animation is beautiful, and I think Pocahontas is a really mature, beautiful woman, and I like that about our character. And I love the Colors of the Wind
Yeah.
song.
Oh, I love that too.
Songs, not just Disney, just ever. Just the message in it is just so lovely and important and timeless.
All right.
Those are the things I love about that movie.
Yeah. So what do you have at number 7?
I have Cinderella.
Yay. I have Cinderella at 4.
And I have it at 3. I have a high. Yeah.
It's
Great
so
movie.
good.
Sweetest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love. She's probably my favorite princess. If I'm picking my favorite Disney princess,
Oh yeah.
I think she's sometimes people think Disney princesses are kind of like cloying and overly sweet, and she's obviously very kind, but she has a little bit of sass to her. And
with Lucifer,
I love we should interrupt their music lessons. She knows how terrible these sisters are, and yeah. I like that movie. And people always criticize these movies for, they're like anti-feminist and, oh, she just needs a man to rescue her, which is not what Cinderella is at all.
I
all
agree.
Is a nice evening out away from the drudgery of day-to-day life.
And she's rescued by a woman.
Yeah.
By a fairy godmother.
I know. I love that. I love that moment with the fairy godmother where she says, if she's like, oh, there's no hope, and she's like, but if you lost all your faith, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I just think that's so beautiful and
so good. I agree. And I love the whole sequence of Sing Sweet Nightingale with the bubbles, because I feel like now in animated films in general, not just Disney, they don't take time to just sort of breathe with the characters often. And there's no reason to have that whole sequence. It does nothing for the plot. It's just to be pretty and have a pretty song and pretty bubbles and animation. And I just kind of, I miss that. I feel like we don't have enough kind of just get to spend time with this character. Everything has to be so plot driven. So.
Yeah, it's a gentle movie, but it also has its cute little comedic things. I love them, and they're just so cute and funny. And I love Cinderella, and I love the whole with the transforming the coach and her dress.
Yeah. All right, what do you have at 6?
I have Lady and the Tramp. Yeah,
The Lady and the Tramp is probably Disney's cutest movie, just as far as like adorable.
It's so excellent. Yeah, I totally agree.
Where do you have A Lady and the Tramp, Stanford?
I have it at 11.
Yeah, I have it at 21, but I love it. It's so cute.
I watched a lot when I was little. I watched a lot. I love the dogs, and they're cute. And
the dogs, yeah.
It has the most romantic movie scene.
Yeah.
That Bella Notte scene is so classic in every regard.
Yeah.
I never tire of it.
The only thing I think is weird in Lady and the Tramp is they set up the Siamese cats as the villain, and then you never see them again. They sing their song, and then they're gone, which I just think is a little bit strange. Then the rat ends up becoming the villain.
Honestly, like the aunt is more like the villain because she
Aunt Sarah.
I like that they just sort of subtly, say that she's not like mean anymore. Did you get the dog biscuits Aunt Sarah sent? I love that turn of the century. I love the beginning
Mhm.
scene with the house in the snow, and I think
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah. All right. Now we're in our top 5. Very
Top
exciting.
5.
What is your number 5?
my top 5. I feel like they're all so close together, so it's almost hard to rank them.
It's
But
so hard. I know. I agree.
it's higher, but it's like it's so difficult. My number 5 is Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I feel like she's higher, but it's like they're also almost even. Beauty and the Beast is amazing.
Yeah.
As it's probably the best overall. As far as like the best music and best songs of any Disney movie. It's so Broadway. It's so Broadway, and I think that
Especially the opening number.
it just shows the
Strange
genius
but special. Yeah.
of how as a
Yeah.
writing. I love the message of Beauty and the Beast. That people can change for the better, and you shouldn't judge someone just by their appearance. And I love the imagery of Beauty and the Beast. The rose under the bell jar, and I've always wanted.
Beauty is found within.
I was like slightly obsessed with all the Disney Renaissance movies when I was little. Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas, Little Mermaid, all those movies. And Belle is my other, probably my second favorite Disney princess, because she's so smart. She loves to read, and she's very mature. She's a brunette like me, which I like. And
Yeah.
I can't sing the praises of Beauty and the Beast enough. I love Be Our Guest.
Mhm.
That's just
It's
such
so amazing.
amazing. I mean, the animation is amazing. The song is amazing. The fact that you see little forks on the chandelier doing like leg kicks. I mean, who thinks of that?
Yeah.
It's so cute and creative.
So, Stanford, would you say Belle is your favorite princess?
If I had to pick a princess, it would be Belle. Yeah. And Cinderella at number 2. But yeah. And then, as we've discussed, Rachel, multiple times, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite, is my number 1.
Yeah. I think that Mulan is my favorite of the princesses, even though I know people are like, she's not technically a princess, but I don't care.
Oh, she's a princess.
I don't care. She's probably my favorite, but I do love Moana as well.
She's
I
the
love
daughter of the
Elsa.
chief. Who are we kidding?
Yeah. All right. What is your number 4?
My number 4 is Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Excellent. I have it at 7.
Sleeping Beauty is the most artistically beautiful movie Disney has ever made.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I also have it at 7.
Every single frame of that movie is like a piece of art.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see, I went to the Walt Disney Family Museum, and they had a special exhibition of Ivan Earl artwork there. And I was lucky enough to get to see it. And a lot of it was Sleeping Beauty art. And it's just so gorgeous. I love how stylized it is. And that they use the Tchaikovsky ballet as the background. And besides Mary Poppins, Sleeping Beauty was the movie I watched the most on VHS as a little kid. And it sort of created my love of fairy tales and fairy tale lore. And the look of that movie is so gorgeous and beautiful. And
here's the big question, though. Are you team pink or team blue dress?
I think the blue looks better.
Mm-hmm.
Pink, I like pink as a color better, but in the movie, I think the blue looks better.
They should let her be blue, because they always said that's Cinderella's color, which isn't even true in the movie. But now that Elsa is also blue and Jasmine is blue, I mean, why not? Say everybody.
Oh, I didn't want to. So yeah, Sleeping Beauty is also a movie I love to collect things from, and I have this little. See it. I have this little,
Oh,
which is one of my like cherished things that I got at
yeah.
Disney.
Oh,
It's
that's
just-
beautiful.
Beautiful.
I mean, yeah, it's just gorgeous, and all the little animals are cute, and I like the characters. I mean, the characters
Yeah.
don't have to be like complex to, be likable. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're simple and sweet, and
And I think Philip is underrated. Like
Oh,
he's
Philip-
so good. He's such a good prince.
my favorite Disney prince.
Yeah.
If you want to go like Prince,
Yeah.
it's not my favorite Disney male character. That's someone in a movie coming up. But but as far as like Prince himself, with Not Through Marriage,
Mhm.
really my favorite Disney prince. He's
Yeah, he's good.
Oh.
He's really good.
reality, and I think so. The sequence with the fairies releasing him from prison and him running through across the drawbridge with
Yeah.
that is the most incredible sequence in any movie ever made,
Yeah.
It's the way that-
It's
with the music and the
The
animation.
music, yeah.
It's
well, and
so
Maleficent and being the dragon and all the fiery. I just remember she says like the fiery pits of hell or something like that. And I used to think, oh, such scandalous. Yeah.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
it's breathtaking in my opinion, and then the part when everything just goes soft and hazy, and with the pretty music, and he goes up to
Mhm.
kiss her. It's just so beautiful, and like I said, I like to say it's like Walt Disney's like crowning artistic achievement, basically.
Yeah.
For art
Yeah.
Yeah.
degree.
Agreed.
There's more beautiful.
I agree. All right. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is Tangled.
Same me.
I love
Yeah.
Tangled.
I love Tangled too. I have it at number 10. I love Tangled.
I love Tangled because it's like they remembered what they do best when that movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's obviously computer, but they tried to make it look like hand-drawn animation,
Yeah.
and a lot of things like harken back to like the classic movies. I feel like there's a lot of Sleeping Beauty in that movie as far as the look of it, and I love
in the forest.
I love the characters. I love Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, aka
Yeah.
Eugene.
Well,
He's
I've
my
said for
favorite.
a long time that I think it's this Disney's first real romantic comedy, that you get like a lot of banter between the two that you don't get except for maybe in Aladdin.
I think, yeah, my favorite Disney couples are Rapunzel and Flynn, and Aladdin and Jasmine, because they get the most to work with. They have the most interaction. They're very funny. You feel like chemistry. It's weird. It's like it's an animated drawing, but there's like chemistry between them. And so there's 2 moments in that movie that are really like striking to me. So the first is when they're in the water and almost going to drown, and she dives under, to try to see.
Oh
and
yeah.
he comes back up, and he brushes the hair away from her, and he's like, it's okay, there's no point. Like he was just, resigned to the fact that what was going to happen, and he was so like real and vulnerable.
Mhm.
It's like, it's almost like you're watching real people. And then
Well, and when she says I'd pick Eugene any day over
Yeah.
Flynn. So good.
Yeah. and then the climax of the movie, when I remember watching that movie and being shocked the moment he cut her hair. It came out of it was such a surprise to me, and that moment when he says, you were my new dream and you were
Yeah.
mine,
Yeah.
So
Like that.
good.
and she cries, and it's like, well, that beautiful magic was just in you. It's not your hair. It's just a part of who you are.
Yeah.
And it's just such a beautiful story. And I have than like sentimental reasons, because I was able to do press for that movie and I got to interview the actors, and I got to interview who did Rapunzel's animation, which was like a dream come
Oh
true.
wow.
He's
How cool.
my hero. So that's part of the reason maybe I rank it a little higher for like sentiment. But the movie is amazing. And I See the Light is one of the most beautiful sequences ever in a movie. Any Disney.
Yeah.
It's so good.
My top 3 movies are also like my top 3 Disney songs. My top 3 Disney songs, my top 3 movies.
Yeah. Well, so what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a movie I was obsessed with all the Disney Renaissance movies. And I love Aladdin because it's so different, so funny, and so it has like the traditional like romance and story, but then you have the genie, which is completely subverts any expectations, and it's just so wild and funny. And but what I like about, and Robin Williams is obviously the perfect person to play that part, but I like that he isn't just silly, that he's also very real and vulnerable. He's not just some goofy comic relief, that he has like emotions and stuff. So, and I would say Aladdin, like I love the songs, and A Whole New World is my favorite Disney song. But as far as like Alan Menken's score, Aladdin is my favorite score. Yeah, I just, there's something about music that I just find so like magical and magical. That's funny, magical.
Yeah, I have it at 16, which seems like so low, but I do really love it.
Yeah, I have a number 6. I love it.
Yeah. All right, big moment. What is your number 1?
Yes, number 1.
My number 1 is The Little Mermaid.
I have it basically tied for 1. Little Mermaid was the first movie that I ever really loved. So I have a very special place in my heart for it. And I still think it holds up. I still love it to this day. So I'm with you.
Yeah, same. The Little Mermaid is the first movie I remember going to the movie theater and thinking, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, for a little girl. And I became like so like crazy obsessed with that movie, where I had to have, my parents, God bless them, they try to find all the dolls, and they gave me a comforter for my bed and all the clothes, the lunchbox, and it's a movie. My mom was talking about this. She's like, she just remembers going and thinking, this music is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing, and all the songs, but especially, I would say, especially Part of Your World and especially Under the Sea, I think are just amazing songs. To think that they almost wanted to cut, or okay, they
I know. Jeffrey Katzenberg. Oh my God.
Part of the World. I'm like, is this guy insane? He clearly and I'm like, thank God that they kept that in, because that's the whole meaning of the movie. And
one of the best movie musical songs ever.
Yeah.
And I was also obsessed with like drawing that. I always wanted to draw Ariel. And I entered the Disney Channel. Used to have a thing where you could send in your drawings and they would be shown on television. And a picture I drew of Ariel got to be seen on the Disney Channel when I was a kid.
Hey,
so
nice.
That was always special.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, like a sentimental number 1, even though I do think it is fantastic and amazing. And I love all the characters. Prince Eric is great. I love Ariel. She's she's spooky, and she knows what she wants, and she's gonna go get it, and she doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm always defending Ariel to the world, because I think that there's a lot to really admire and love about her character and her determination. And like maybe she's a little bit selfish, but like she's a teenager and she's learning and she grows. but I love her too, and love her hair. Oh, so good. And she's just I mean, I agree with you about the music. So good.
It bothers me when people think that Ariel's horrible. She gave up her voice for a man.
I hate that too so much.
I'm like, no, she gave up her voice so she could be human.
Yeah.
She wants to be human. Yes, she falls in love with him.
Yeah.
That's just like the last motivator, basically. Yeah. She wants to be human.
She does it because her dad had a hissy fit and destroyed all her stuff. What else is she gonna do?
He destroyed everything that she held dear.
Yeah.
You know, who went that way? So
yeah, agree. Well, very good. What a great list. Great
Fantastic
ranking.
List, Marianne. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Yes, this was so much fun. It was great to get to meet you. And if people want to follow you on social media, all that fun stuff, how do they do that?
They can follow me at the Girly Nerd with underscores in between each word.
Great. And Stanford, where can people find you?
On Twitter, I'm at Stanford Clark, and I have a movie podcast and blog at moviespastandpresent.com.
You can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes, and at Disney Talking. You can follow us on there, and we would love that if you can do that. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. And we also have the Patreon group and merch stores. Check that out. And thanks again, Marianne. It was so nice to meet you.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Marianne.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right.